We are live on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. I am Ryan Thomas, the host of tonight's post-game show. The Bills move to 9-3 with a thrilling victory over the San Francisco 49ers in Arizona. Pretty weird to watch this game take place between the Buffalo Bills and San Francisco 49ers last night on Monday Night Football, no less, in Arizona. I'll start off by saying that. Was that not weird? I thought it was pretty weird. I thought it was pretty odd, but it is 2020. This is the day and age that we're living in. COVID, everything going on. But most importantly, to deviate from all the COVID stuff that you guys have been listening to and seeing on TV, it's time to talk sports. It's time to dive into this 34-24 victory by the Buffalo Bills as the Bills move to 9-3. They still sit atop the AFC East with this victory over the San Francisco 49ers, again, in Arizona. Pretty weird to say the least. But first off, I typically on the show dive into, discuss, takeover player of the game. Who was the person, who was the player, who was the gentleman of the Buffalo Bills that was seen by yours truly as the takeover player of the game? Who is the takeover player of this game? I'm just going to start off by saying, just when I think Josh Allen has played his best game in his Bills career, in his young Bills career, in 3 seasons, not even 3 full seasons as the Bills starter, I'm here to tell you that Josh Allen just outdoes himself. Just when I think Josh Allen had played the best game of his career a few weeks back, this game, Josh Allen shines. Josh Allen shines bright in this game. This game will be a game that I will always remember, go back to and remember that, wow, Josh Allen really put on a show on Monday Night Football, no less, leading the Buffalo Bills to their first Monday Night Football victory in 21 years, since the days of Doug Flutie, Flutie Flakes, Flutie Magic, Flutie Mania. That was a hell of a time to be a Bills fan. That dates me back, 6 years old when that win over the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football took place. Josh Allen says, let's put a win in the win column on Monday Night Football in 2020. Josh Allen is the takeover player of this game. 32 of 40, 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0, count them, the goose egg, 0 interceptions in this one. And, talking about the keys to victory, I did not get to put out a live keys to victory show in the lead up to this game. Didn't get the opportunity to do that. I had a lot going on, outside of the show. And lately I've been putting out graphics in regards to the show and in regards to some takes that I have. And a lot of the Bills Mafia members have been very receptive to those graphics, and they've shown support. The Facebook page has grown tremendously over the last few months. The YouTube channel has grown tremendously over the last few months. So I thank you guys for supporting the show and hopping on here, throwing out your comments. Of course, feel free to fire away your comments in the comment section below, wherever you're watching this video, whether you're watching it on YouTube or on Facebook or listening to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. If that is the case, feel free to, quote-unquote, slide into the DMs. Let me know how you feel about this Buffalo Bills team heading into a crucial Week 14 battle with the Pittsburgh Steelers. More on that later. Want to really dive into the nitty-gritty of this game and discuss why I think this was one of the best Bills performances in recent memory. Just when I think the Bills had a good game a few weeks back, whatever week it could have been this season has been a good one for the Buffalo Bills. But this game in particular, I greatly enjoyed what I saw really on both sides of the ball. Defense had its moments, had some moments that were good, had some moments that were not so good. But Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills offense, rest assured, they accomplished pretty much every key to victory that I wanted them to in regards to accomplishing each key to victory. Number one key to victory was to make sure the 49ers do not get the most out of Raheem Mostert. And the one thing I can positively say is that the Bills defense accomplished my key to victory in the fact that Raheem Mostert was stopped in this game, 9 carries, 42 yards. the 49ers always like to try to get Raheem Mostert the ball in a lot of other ways, but I didn't hear Raheem Mostert's name called much. He was given the ball early and often in this game. The Bills were able to put a stop to that. They were able to force the pass from Nick Mullins in this game. And Nick Mullins, all due respect to Nick Mullins, he's put into a precarious situation as the backup of this team. Not just the backup of this team, but asked to be the stopgap starter for this team for a prolonged period of time in comparison to years past where Nick Mullins is only starting a game or two. He's only getting his feet wet, and then he's out of there before you know it. Where with Jimmy Garoppolo's ankle injury, Nick Mullins has been asked to start, week in, week out for the San Francisco 49ers team. But the broadcast team of Louis Riddick, Steve Levy, and Brian Griese were a little bit, shall I say, playing favorites with the San Francisco 49ers in this one. The ESPN Monday Night Football crew, Booger McFarland was the only analyst on the Monday Night Football team to basically say that the Bills had the best chance to win this game. So going into this one, we were doubted. There's no doubt about it. We were doubted. We were looked past. We were looked at as a team that finds a way to lose and doesn't find a way to win and kind of shoots themselves in the foot. And, rightfully so. I can honestly say that the Bills have had moments like that. They have had moments where they didn't really show their utmost ability, and you could wonder if this game was going to be one of those games. You would hope that it wasn't going to be one of those games, and it wasn't. I'm so thankful for that. I can't tell you enough how thankful I am that this Bills team showed up, produced a hell of an effort, and produced a hell of a win for the Bills Mafia. On the national stage, no less, that is everything that we have needed as Bills fans these last few years. We've been given the national spotlight for the success that we have had, and we kind of squandered that national spotlight. We didn't really show up within that national spotlight where 8 straight Monday Night Football losses. Buffalo Bills, didn't show up hardly at all in those games. Some of them were closer than others. Some of them were heartbreakers. The majority of those Monday Night Football games were abysmal Monday Night Football games on the part of the Bills. And this one was not. This was just such a refreshing victory Tuesday. Woke up this morning and just felt so refreshed in regards to what I watched last night. Hasn't even been 24 hours yet since the game started. And I'm just so happy to hop on the air here and really talk about this game. I want to answer any questions that you guys have in regards to not just this game, but the next few weeks. These next few weeks for the Buffalo Bills are crucial. They are big, they're important, and they are essential towards taking that next step for this Buffalo Bills team competitively. And to know that Josh Allen is just on this whole new level, is on this next level that we have seen over the course of the last few weeks from Josh Allen. This season from Josh Allen has been a mighty step up, mighty step forward for Josh Allen. To see Allen making the plays that he is making, and to see Allen make the plays that he made in particular last night, there were moments where the offensive line of the Buffalo Bills was not really quite up to snuff. There were moments where the 49ers applied pressure on Josh Allen. Didn't matter. Allen was able to roll out of the pocket, extend plays with his legs, and find the open receiver. Josh Allen, outside of Pat Mahomes, is one of the best on-the-run quarterbacks in the league. He is one of the best quarterbacks throwing on the run, especially rolling to his right. Louis Riddick talked about that specifically and said that if you allow Josh Allen to roll out, if you allow Josh Allen to extend a play, if you allow him to do that, he will kill you. Not literally, but on the field, he will burn you. He will expose holes in your defense, and the 49ers had a ton of holes. What I saw last night was an offense that is not only coming together on the field, but is an offense that is coming together off the field as well. The fact that John Brown has not been fully healthy, and the fact that Gabe Davis has been able to step up, be that next man up, and play a pivotal role in this offense as the third wide receiver between, not lining up on the field, Beasley's the slot guy. Davis is a possession receiver, and Diggs is the all-encompassing, wide receiver one, the guy that can run every route, the guy that can do pretty much everything that they've asked of him since day one, since he was traded to the Buffalo Bills. I can't say enough good things about Stephon Diggs. I can't say enough good things about Cole Beasley. Short in stature, big in production. Cole Beasley has found a way to not only get open, but to be that reliable source of safety, shall I say, for Josh Allen. And I think outside of, Josh Allen and his big day, 19 of Josh Allen's 32 completions were to Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs. Cole Beasley had a phenomenal day, 9 catches, 130 yards, and 1 touchdown. Stephon Diggs passed the 1,000-yard mark in this game. 10 catches, 92 yards. He passed 90 catches. Over 90 catches in this season is a new Bills record. Not only that, if the Buffalo Bills finish this season with 2,000-yard receivers, it's the first time in like 18 years since the Bills have had 2,000-yard receivers on their team at one time. The last time I believe they did that was 2002, if my memory serves me right, with Eric Moulds and Peerless Price. So that was Drew Bledsoe's first season. So this offense is putting up historic numbers in Bills franchise history. And anytime they do so, we are reminded again just how bad this team has been for so long and just how inept some of these offenses were throughout the last 20 years, that we are reminded, of course, that this was their first Monday Night Football win since the days of Doug Flutie, as I touched on it. But I love that. I love that this 17, 20-year stint, if you want to call it a stint, or saga, has led us to this point where we can honestly say it was worth the wait. I can't believe I'm saying this. All of the struggles that I went through as Bills fans, all the struggles that you went through as Bills fans, was worth the wait, knowing that we got the team that we are watching each and every Sunday. An entertaining team, a team that I honestly feel is one of the powerhouse teams of the AFC for many, many years to come. The team that I thought the Bills could be throughout the entire season was who they were last night. And I know that they've got 9 wins, and I know that they only got 3 losses, and I know that they're a Hail Mary away from being 10-2. Winning 6 straight, their last loss would have been to the Kansas City Chiefs had it not been for DeAndre Hopkins and the Kyler Murray touchdown pass. But without talking about that and revisiting that, we'll just live in the reality of the situation that the Bills are 9-3. They're atop the AFC East. Very thrilled with that. But this game in particular, this 9th win of the season, was the first win out of the 9 where I can honestly say that this Bills team is who I thought they could be. This Bills team showed up in a major way against a tough team. Now, look, the Niners are not what they are. In reality, George Kittle is out. Jimmy Garoppolo is out. A lot of pieces are not quite all there anymore. They've lost some players. They've gained some players. They're not the team that they once were. But it's safe to say that none of that's excuse making right there. If you're the 49ers fan base, you're looking at this game as, yeah, we had our opportunities, but a good team eliminated those opportunities, and that good team was the Buffalo Bills. So let's get to some comments here. Jay Barkley, the comments are a little too long. We got to keep them short so that they can fit the screen here. Jay Barkley says, if Brown was healthy all season, we would have had 3,000-yard receivers. We would get bigger chunk yard plays with defenses not being able to cheat. I can't really say that for sure because we got to live in the reality. It's very unfortunate that John Brown has missed the time that he has missed, and I greatly miss him in this offense. He's a huge piece of what this offense can do, and I think getting him back come playoff time will be essential for our playoff success. But he's not in the lineup. He's out the next few weeks, and I love the fact that Gabe Davis has taken that next step up. As frustrating as it was that I think the defense did let the 49ers hang in this one a little bit, the score should have been more lopsided in my opinion, but that does make me sound like I'm nitpicking a little bit. Maybe I am, but you guys know what I'm talking about. There were moments in this game where the 49ers got the ball back and you would think to yourself, well, this game should be over. This game, this game was only a 10-point difference. Sure didn't feel like it. Watching this game, you thought to yourself, maybe they should have won 40-17, or maybe they should have won, 45-17. I don't know. I just felt like there were moments where the defense left some plays out on the field. But then there were moments where, they didn't leave some plays on the field. They did get the takeaways. Trey White was flying all over the field last night. Jermaine Edmonds had a much-needed rebound game. There's been a lot of chatter within the Buffalo market, within the National Football League, media stratosphere or Twitter sphere, that Jermaine Edmonds is the B word, and it's not badass. It's bust, and I hate using that word. I'm not a fan of that word, and I don't think Jermaine Edmonds is a bust. But I think having Matt Milano back in the lineup, that full linebacker core, is what Edmonds needs to play his game. And there's a little bit of confusion when you don't have those weapons on the defensive side of the ball all healthy at once. I guess that's the biggest point of contention for 2021, is that the Bills need some depth on the roster just across the board, in particular on the defensive side of the ball. That way, if they do have injuries on the defensive side of the ball, they can kind of combat those with adequate depth. Michael Gerace, my dude Ryan, what's up? 9-3. Offense looked elite last night. Defense made some great plays at great times, all fired up. What's your feelings on Levi Wallace and his play? Myself hope it's just getting back in the lineup butterflies. Well, this is the thing with Levi Wallace. I've been somebody that, and I'm answering this for two people. There are a couple comments on here from YouTube and Facebook in regards to Levi Wallace. So I really want to get to this point here and answer this question for you guys. Levi Wallace, to me, is a solid corner in a particular role. It's very tough in the National Football League across the board to find a solid CB2. There's not really many teams out there with two solid corners, two stud corners. There is always a drop-off from your first corner to your second corner. Very rarely do you have an elite corner, an elite CB1, and an elite CB2. You rarely see that across the league. So the fact that the Buffalo Bills don't have that is really not the end of the world, because it's seldomly seen in the league in general, whether you're talking AFC or NFC. Levi Wallace has games where he shows up. Levi Wallace has games where he shows up and shows out, where he has a little bit of a swagger. I thought Levi Wallace made a phenomenal play in last night's game, and it was called back. It was a flag. They called it a pass interference play. I didn't think that was pass interference. I've seen pass interference when it is called as such. That did not suffice to me. And if Levi Wallace made that play and that flag wasn't thrown, would our perception of his play be different come the end of this game? There was one play in particular where Nick Mullins got it, through a 49-yard pass. I believe it was to Brandon Ayuk. My memory could be wrong. If it is, I apologize. But it was a 49-yard pass. Levi Wallace's hand was right underneath the ball, so he was right in position to make the play. It was just one step too late, one step too short, and one throw that was a beautiful throw by Nick Mullins, probably his best throw of the game. So I think Levi Wallace is an easy target because he's lined up alongside arguably the best corner in the league. And when you're playing alongside the best and you are not at your best, you become under the microscope even more than you already are. That weakness or two in your game is amplified. And I think Levi Wallace has a lot of room to grow, and I think that's what makes Sean McDermott willing to throw him out there each and every week, knowing that there is plenty of room to grow, plenty of room to get to point A to point B, and I'm not ready to say Levi Wallace is not adequate for this team. I think he does have pieces to his game that make him an exciting prospect, potentially CB3, CB2. Maybe they do go down the draft loopholes, and they do go down the draft wormhole, I should say, not loophole, wormhole, and go with a CB2 in the first or second round. Maybe they decide to do that. Would that be the wrong choice? I don't think so. But does that mean that Levi Wallace is out the door in one Bills drive? I don't think so. Vernon Butler made a lot of plays in this game, and that was something that I think this defense in particular has been missing. And it's oftentimes when I'm asked as a Bills podcaster, what do you think is the problem with this defense? The problem is the depth pieces that this Buffalo Bills regime added along the defensive line have not really stepped up, have not taken the role of a Star Latuile, of a Shaq Lawson. Those two losses were not major losses to this team. I'm not going to say that they were. I'm going to say that Shaq Lawson left from Miami for greener pastures, greener meaning the almighty dollar bill. Jordan Phillips left the Buffalo Bills for greener pastures, the almighty dollar bill in Arizona. Were those guys worth that money? I don't think the Bills could honestly say that. I don't think we could say that at that time as Bills fans. It's not letting those guys out the door. It's replacing them with players that hadn't necessarily stepped up quite yet. And Ed Oliver is one of those guys. For as much criticism, you want to place the criticism on anybody, place the criticism on the guys that are on the team, not the guys that the Bills actually let walk out the door. It's next man up in this league. You have to step up. You have to make your impact. And Vernon Butler, who's some of the other guys? I'm drawing a blank now. Mario Addison, Jefferson, some of those guys just haven't made the impact that you would think. Harrison Phillips hasn't made the impact. Ed Oliver, the microscope is very much on him. The spotlight is very much on him. This is a former first-round pick that we're expecting to see that jump in his game. Have we seen that jump in his game yet? I don't think so, but progress is being made that I think Bills fans should be excited about. Once we get to that point where we know what our needs are and they are so few and far between, it's a good thing to have needs, and the needs are depth. When a need is depth, that means your starters are very much trusted, but when they're hurt, you just need somebody else that's a little bit better, a little bit younger, a little bit more fluid out there. And there are moments where you have this hodgepodge group of defensive linemen. Some of them are young, some of them are older. Hughes, Addison, Trent Murphy is not nearly worth his salary. I think Trent Murphy would even agree to that. And you need to get that sorted out. I think that's something that they definitely do have to get sorted out and prioritize as a top priority in this offseason. And as far as the offensive line goes, going on the other side of the coin, we need our line to relatively stay together year after year in order for this offense to strive and to continue to get better. Pieces of this line are solid, rock steady, solid. Deion Dawkins has been fantastic. I can't complain about him whatsoever. Mitch Morse, solid when he's out there, when healthy. I think he's a solid center. Right guard, John Feliciano, he got dinged and banged up a little bit in this one, but I think he's okay. Right tackle, Darrell Williams, he's played okay. The whole situation with Quinton Spain, a little bit odd. Not really sure what transpired there that led the Buffalo Bills to cutting Quinton Spain. I talked about that on the last show with Josh Rest as my guest. And, hey, that rhymed. And Brian Winters over Quinton Spain, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing what made them decide to go that route. But in terms of run blocking, the ability for the Bills to pass block versus run block is far and away better. The run blocking is not quite there, but the pass blocking in last night's game was spotty as well because the 49ers have a pretty decent front seven, a deep front seven. They have injuries along the front seven, and they got guys that stepped up. They got guys that can play. They got guys that have made an impact in this 49ers front seven. So, you know, I saw Josh Allen kind of reverting back to his Wyoming form, albeit his rookie form, and he was comfortable out there doing that. Josh Allen can do that all day, but you go back to his rookie year when he was doing that, it was a little bit too much. It was overcompensating. Last night, He sprinkled in his hero ball with trusting his teammates, trusting the guys around him, and letting the guys around him make plays. That is the credo of the Josh Allen Year 3 2020 season, is trusting the guys around him, allowing the guys around him to make plays. Stephon Diggs is one of the best receivers in this league. Cole Beasley is one of the best slot receivers in this league. And you do have to find a way to run the ball in this league in these later months, in the December months, November, December months, heading into the playoffs, January football. You need to run the ball a little bit. And I think Devin Singletary had a few nice runs out there. I think Zach Moss was not, let's just say it wasn't his best day. The fumble was pretty poor on the goal line. To say that was Allen's fault, I think, was a little bit of a miscue by the broadcast team. I think that was Moss botching that handoff on that particular play. But to say that Cole Beasley had 9 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown, Gabe Davis had a touchdown on this one, Isaiah McKenzie had a touchdown on this one, Dawson Knox gets into the end zone. You need that production from your tight end every once in a blue moon in this offense to show that, yes, we have the tight end that can compete and be a pivotal force on this offense. Micah Hyde, Tre'Davious White both had interceptions. I thought Micah Hyde was going to take his pick to the house. I really did. And Levi Wallace led the defense in tackles. So people can talk about how bad Levi Wallace is, and there are times where I've been a little bit frustrated with Levi Wallace, especially last season, but I have actually seen an improvement in his game, and I'm not going to throw him under the bus. In regards to last night's game, it was just one step too late on one play, and I thought he made a fantastic play early in the game that was called as a flag. It was egregiously called a flag in the game, and I was at the point where I was yelling at my TV after that one. The Bills defeated a non-divisional opponent on Monday Night Football for the first time since 1995. Week 5 against the Cleveland Browns. Another facet of this game that we can talk about. The 49ers are now 1-4 on Monday Night Football in the Kyle Shanahan era since 2017. San Francisco was 9-1 in such games from 2010 to 2016. Key stat for the record for the Buffalo Bills: the Bills are 6-0 in games when Josh Allen has thrown for 300-plus passing yards. The Bills have started 9-3 or better in 2 straight seasons for the first time since 1990 to 1992. 1992, shout out to the year I was born. Pretty crazy. So this is the stat that I think puts Josh Allen on a completely new level for Buffalo Bills fans. Josh Allen has tied Hall of Famer Jim Kelly 3 in 1994 for the most games with 4+ touchdowns, passing touchdowns on a single season in Bills history. Josh Allen has 33 offensive touchdowns this season. Only Hall of Famer Jim Kelly, 34 in 1991, had more in a single season in Buffalo Bills history. So Josh Allen, total offensive touchdowns, is on pace to have the best quarterback season that a Bills quarterback has ever had. How about that? How about them apples? Josh Allen has thrown for 300-plus passing yards in 6 of 12 games this season, 0 times in his first 28 career games. Bills have 20-plus first downs in each of the first 12 games of a season for the first time in their franchise history. Cole Beasley has 100-plus reception yards for the 6th time in 2 seasons with Buffalo, 2 such games in 7 seasons with Dallas. Move over Tony Romo. Josh Allen's the new sheriff in town for Cole Beasley. And Devin Singletary has a reception streak that's flying under the radar. Devin Singletary has 1 reception in 21 straight games, the longest streak by Buffalo Bills running back since Fred Jackson in 2013 and 2014. The great co-college Fred Jackson. Co-college alum. So I'm fired up, guys. I'm fired up. I'm very much looking forward to the Pittsburgh Steelers game this upcoming Sunday night at Bills Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. I think this is going to be a great game, a great test for the Buffalo Bills. And a great stat there that was mentioned by viewer Michael Gervais, Allen has yet to throw any picks in the red zone. The fact that that is still consistent and that is still very much a thing, man, this guy is so dynamic. He is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league for many years to come. I've been saying it all season long. I'm not tooting my own horn in saying that, but I will say that I have never been more proud to be right about any particular sports topic than I am about Josh Allen. I will take that to my grave, that this was the guy that I wanted here. This was the guy that I wanted Buffalo to draft. I did not want Josh Rosen. I did not want Sam Darnold. I did not want Baker Mayfield or Lamar Jackson. I wanted Josh Allen for this team. You can check the record. You can find it. It's out there. This podcast has been going strong for 5 years, almost 5 years now, and that was a take that I was hammering home each and every night on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. We got a real franchise quarterback, folks. We got our guy. We had to wait a long time for him, but he's here, and he's not just taking part in playing. He's taking over Buffalo, New York, Western New York. Whether you're in the North Towns or the South Towns, Josh Allen is your quarterback. And I'm Ryan Thomas. That was the Thomas Take Sports Podcast Bills postgame show. The Buffalo Bills moved to 9-3, sitting atop the AFC East. Miami nipping at our heels, but something tells me that the Bills will still run away and win the AFC East. And that something is Josh Allen. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Go Bills. Tune in the rest of this week. There'll be more episodes of the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Thank you for the support. Let's go Bills.